The Edge at 11 starts now.
Tonight on The Edge, a White Lake Township police officer in the right place at the right time and being hailed a hero by animal lovers.
He revived and rescued a fawn prematurely born after its mom was hit and killed by a car. Fox 2's Jessica Dupnack with that story.
The impact of the crash killed the doe and caused a traumatic delivery. 2 of the 3 fawns were already dead, but there was one left, and he is a fighter.
Started breathing a little better and made noise, so I knew, this one might make it.
It was the 3rd deer versus car call of the night Tuesday, but this one was different. The doe that was hit had been pregnant with triplets.
They were already laying on the ground, deceased.
Mom was killed too. In the gruesome scene, a glimmer of life.
I could tell that there was shallow breathing still, so I picked it up by its hind legs and kind of let it drain the fluids out of its lungs. Once it made a noise, I knew then that, hey, this deer might be okay.
Of all the officers to get the call that night in White Lake Township, it was the right one, Officer Frank Wright. It was kind of meant to be, though, that you got that call, right?
Yeah, that must be.
You can tell that accent is not from around here. His southern roots prepared him for this.
Grew up in West Virginia and kind of grew up on a farm, so I knew how to take care of animals, especially ones that were going into labor.
He delivered plenty of lambs and calves and knew this fawn needed goat's milk and a warm blanket. The premature fawn, just 6 pounds, started to perk right up with that bottle. Knowing he needed special treatment, the folks with Detroit Animal Welfare Group, or DOG, took him in to nurse him back to health. As of Thursday, the rescue group says he's weak, but his vital signs are stable.
That's the best feeling you can have, is when you actually see that you did good. You know, the animal actually made it.
The fawn was named Baby Meyer because he was born just outside of this Meyer store along M59 in White Lake Township. We are pulling for a full recovery. Jessica Dupnack on The Edge.
We all are here as well. Well, for the first time ever, an American will be leading the Catholic Church.
Cardinal Robert Prevost from Chicago will now be known as Pope Leo XIV. Pope Leo walked out to greet thousands of the faithful packed together inside St. Peter's Square. The pontiff preaching peace and pledging to unite the church under God's guidance. He also thanked the cardinals who elected him and his predecessor, Pope Francis.
I think he will, in some ways, be a second Pope Francis. I think he has a strong inclination to help the poor, the disenfranchised, the people that don't have a voice, because he spent so much time in Peru with the people who were impoverished.
White smoke poured out of the Sistine Chapel this afternoon, signaling the Cardinals' final decision after 4 rounds of voting. And a missing teenager. A missing teenager from Roseville winds up in North Carolina.
As Fox News' Lauren Edwards tells us, her mother's nightmare is over tonight, but the investigation is just now getting started.
I love you and I want you to come back home.
Christina Harkis made a desperate plea to find her 17-year-old daughter, Selena Fleenor of Roseville. She says she ran away on Easter, April 20th. Wednesday, May 7th, U.S. Marshals found her 693 miles away from home.
We identified a person of interest that we believe drove up from North Carolina, took her back down to North Carolina, where we were able to locate him at an extended stay motel.
Robert Watson, who runs the missing child unit for the Eastern District of Michigan, says U.S. Marshals got involved this week on Monday, May 5th. When Watson's team located where the person of interest was in Raleigh, North Carolina, they reached out to marshals there, who surrounded the motel and arrested him.
He doesn't seem like the type of person that would fight a dozen law enforcement. So I believe he knew what time it was.
As for Fleenor, she received immediate medical attention and emotional help.
One of the first things they did was give her a giant teddy bear to hold on to.
Watson says Harkis went to Raleigh Thursday to reunite with her daughter.
God only knows the trauma that this young lady has been through.
As for the 26-year-old man, Watson says he's in custody and facing a number of charges in North Carolina, including accosting a child for immoral purposes.
The detectives from their human trafficking unit are investigating deeper to see exactly what else could have gone on, and potentially if there are more victims that he is connected to.
Watson says that more charges could come in this case, especially here in the state of Michigan. It just depends on how the investigation unfolds. But his message to all parents, please know what your children are doing online. It's one of the ways that Fleenor and the 26-year-old man connected. In Roseville, Lauren Edwards, On the Edge.
A judge declares a mistrial in the murder case against former Grand Rapids police officer Christopher Schur.
The jury unable to agree on a verdict. Schur had faced charges of second-degree murder and manslaughter related to the shooting death of Patrick Leoya during a 2022 traffic stop. Kent County prosecutor Christopher Becker not surprised by the jury's split decision.
We always knew there was a possibility. It's a difficult case. This was not an easy case. Obviously, there's a split in terms of what, who was believing what on which side.
He's been living with this for 3 years. He obviously wanted some resolution. I think he was felt that the jury took the time to deliberate, and he appreciates that.
Becker says the jury mainly disagreed about the struggle over the taser during that confrontation. It's not clear if prosecutors will attempt to retry the case.
Ms. Taylor is on video shooting the victims at point blank range.
She didn't know this individual. She had no beef with this individual, but she's crying out there watching her brother attempt to be murdered.
A Detroit woman accused of shooting 4 men, killing 2 of them outside a shoe store, now facing 6 charges. Investigators say that 19-year-old Lakeelia Taylor fired the deadly shots after a fight in front of the East Point Foot Locker on Saturday. Her attorney argues it was self-defense because her brother was being attacked. But prosecutors say the evidence proves otherwise. Her brother, Jawan Taylor, has also been charged with tampering with evidence. A man accused in a deadly road rage shooting is headed to trial 2 months after a DoorDash driver was killed while on his way to make a delivery.
The deadly encounter happening just 1 day before the victim's 27th birthday.
Fox 2's Scott Wolchuk takes us inside the courtroom where prosecutors laid out their case.
39-year-old Terrell Sims in court accused of killing 26-year-old Mamadou Diallo, a DoorDash driver, in a fit of road rage. It happened on the early morning of March 9th at Woodward near 8 Mile. Sims is charged with second-degree murder and 3 weapons felonies. Police say the morning of the shooting, Diallo had just picked up a DoorDash order from White Castle, turned onto Woodward, and made a Michigan left.
The dark blue pickup truck was traveling at a high rate of speed, like I mentioned, and nearly collided with Mr. Diallo's vehicle.
Investigators say it was Sims in the driver's seat. He's accused of pulling up beside Diallo and firing a gun.
The best evidence that we have here is that 10-second time frame, and that's from the point where the defendant hits the brakes and slows down to the time the gunshots were fired. That eliminates anyone else in the world that could have done this, Judge.
In rebuttal, defense attorney Adam Clements arguing there's no solid evidence on who in the vehicle pulled the trigger.
During the particular point in time where the suspect pickup truck is on Woodward, are you able to see any clothing descriptions from anyone inside the vehicle?
Not while the vehicle's on Woodward.
You'd agree that while the vehicle's on Woodward, the tinted windows preclude you from looking into identifying anyone. Is that fair to say?
Yes, you can't see inside the vehicle.
Investigators executed a search warrant of Sims' house. In the basement, they found 4 firearms. Police say 2 were stolen.
This .40 caliber handgun fired the shots that killed the victim in this case?
Yes, this gun was used in the homicide.
From the evidence that's been presented, it's reason to believe that the defendant in this matter was in fact the driver of the car. There's no evidence in any other way that he moved, stopped. They all did a shift in the car or anything of that sort.
Judge Joseph Longo finding probable cause on all 4 charges, binding Sims over for trial. His bond was denied. In Ferndale, Scott Wolchuk, Fox 2 News.
Turning to the weather, we are in for a chilly night.
Yeah, a frost advisory is in place overnight. Weather authority Rich Luderman joins us with the forecast. Rich, by June, we'll be done with all these frost advisories.
Big time. Really, by the end of May, we're going to be done with these frosty nights. This could very well be the last frosty night for us because when it comes to planting flowers, around here we always say, Mother's Day. Well, Mother's Day is a couple days away. I'll show you why it's going to be a cold night. We have high pressure parked over the central and western Great Lakes. Now, we did have clouds clouds early this morning, even a few rain showers, but that frontal boundary has settled way to the south. There is some rain south of the Ohio River. There is some rain in eastern Pennsylvania up into parts of New England. Around here, our long dry stretch continues. Tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, Monday looks nice and dry. Mostly clear skies right now. Live pictures right here in Southfield. That's 9 Mile Road. Pretty quiet at 45 degrees. Here is that frost advisory. It does not include Monroe and Wayne counties, but there is a chance for some patchy frost, especially into the thumb and also out there in mid-Michigan. I'll show you why coming up. High temperatures today, only 58 for us. Colder numbers for Port Huron. Look at Bad Axe. Today's daytime high, 43 degrees. Here are the numbers at Metro Airport, 58 and 44. So a good 6 degrees below where we should be. Right now, the coldest numbers are along Interstate 69 from Lapeer to Port Huron. 41 Howe, 40 in Pontiac, 43 over in Windsor. But as that breeze diminishes, temperatures will come down a few more. So the best chance for that patchy frost will be up in the thumb. Look at Bad Axe already at 33. There's high pressure giving us great weather for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Remember, the Tigers return home tomorrow. It's going to be beautiful weather for Tigers baseball and for Mother's Day. For the rest of tonight, patchy frost down to 39 in the city, but colder in the outlying areas. 65 tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine for the weekend as well. It gets even warmer next week. Rupa and Amy, a full check at 4 a.m.
All right, thank you, Rich. Well, a frisky feline has jumped into the record books.
A cat from Dallas now holds a world record for longest jump by a cat. Take a look. That's Oscar, a 7-year-old rescue. He's officially set a Guinness World Record by leaping 8 feet and 5 inches. Wouldn't be the same without the music, by the way. I know. The record-breaking attempt happened back in February. Oscar's owner says it took 2 years of training and countless practice jumps for him to break the record. Congratulations, Oscar.
Great job, Oscar.